Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody's having a magnificent Halloween. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome, 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 everyone. Just double checking, I'm not muted. Fantastic. Oh, let's see. I hope everyone is having a fantastic evening. I know it's 8 o'clock. It's, it's getting a little bit late, but I'm glad everybody's here to join me. Thank you so much. So we're going to do some, we're going to look at some spooky stuff. And look at some spooky videos that were recorded and do some updates. And of course, you never know what happens. You never know what happens, in my live streams. You never know who's going to pop in or who's going to, show up in there in the live chat or maybe want to pop on as a guest. So it's going to be a lot of fun just talking about various things on the last night of the spooky season, the best night of all. I myself just got done watching Trick or Treat, as is my Halloween tradition. And because I'm the only one here right now, and I've got the dogs, I've left the candy outside because I've got to handle them. Because if I'm not in the house, then they'll run wild, and I can't just I don't want to just stick them outside. So, so I'm doing kind of the inside thing right now, and letting the candy take care of itself, and just basically wanting to hang out with y'all and see what's going on. All right, before we get started, let me actually throw this up, and because it's my big thank you to everyone who supports the channel, all of the channel members, and everybody that pops by in the live chat. Thank you all so very, very much. And let's see who. First, let's check out and see who we've got in the live chat so far. We've got Doctor Who Design is here. Good to see you, Doctor Who. It says, first, is it possible? We're going to address that. We're going to talk about that. Dib, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. Raven Darkstar as well. Good to see you. Donnie Does That, member of the Godless Army. Thanks so much for hanging out, Donnie. Appreciate that. Lori Marie, member of the Godless Army. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you. Nemo813, member of the Godless Army, says, hey, everyone, is this the stream for the social life impaired? Quite possibly, but at least you have a community. That's the best part. Rasheen is here. Good to see you, Rasheen. Says, hi. Pleasure to see you. And Tom Roberson as well, member of the Godless Army. Is there a waiting list for the class action lawsuit? Apparently not. Apparently we're all just going to get served. Which means that's... if this was actually going the way he wanted it to go, that's 60,000 letters that have to go out. Yeah, you think his mouth is dry now? Oh, let's see. Yeah, I had a little bit of a technical issue. I was uploading my intro. There was something happened with my intro, and I lost half my intro, the intro that you watched. And I was like, no, so I had to redo it, and so I was punching that out real quick so I could play that. Let's see. Who else we have here? Oh, Plot Hole popped in. I had to search for me to revisit. Nope. And I'm going to update about that as well. I will update about that. So, because apparently I have to dispel some myths or rumors regarding this. Cindy Johnson here, member of the Godless Army. Good to see you. Cindy McKinnon Mitchell is in the house. Good to see you on this spooky eve, McKinnon. Fantastic. Looking forward to your new documentary. It's going to be an interesting one. Peter Noddle as well says, g'day mate, good to see you with the obligatory ghost. I appreciate that. Member of the Godless Army, thank you so much for the support. James Wolfe says, talking critical thinking, horror movies, or both. You never know. Maybe all, maybe some, different, maybe one or the other. We'll just have to see where it goes. It goes kind of organically here. Curbside Law Scholar Chili Suzalot says, stay tuned. At intermission, there will be lawsuits for everybody. Oh, we can only hope. Maddie B, member of the Godless Army, is here. Good to see you. H. Jasper E as well, member of the Godless Army, says, hey, earlier on I thought it'd be a good seeing your show tonight. Well, appreciate that, H. Jasper. Really, really do. Mr. Ford Twitch, member of the Godless Army, says, Twitch man here. Good to see you. Thanks so much for hanging out. And James Wolf says, it's already All Hallows Day here. Yep, we still got 4 hours left for All Hallows Eve. The creepiest of the creepy nights, and my favorite, my literal favorite day of the year. More than my birthday, more than anything. It's just literally my favorite day of the year. Close second favorite is my anniversary, but then my birthday. But Halloween, my favorite day of the year. Denova28 says, happy Halloween. Good to see you, Denova28. Just carving a pumpkin with the girlfriend. Fantastic. Armageddon's Fire says, good day to you, living in yesterday. Thanks so much, Armageddon's Fire. Good to see you. And you did send me a fun one. That was adorable. Oh, man, Greg Locke. You know, he's going full David Koresh. He really is. Hildia, member of the Godless Army, says, happy Halloween. Good to see you, Hildia. Thanks so much for popping by. Mr. E-Man says, it was good to see the four beardsmen catch up together the other day. I really did enjoy it, thanks to all. It was our absolute pleasure. It was kind of impromptu, and I'm glad we were able to pull it off. The four of us together just, you know, it's just beyond fun. And it's one of the highlights of being a part of the YouTube community, to get together with these with those characters and entertain y'all and talk about stuff that's important. PhD Tony is here. Greetings, sir. Good to see you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here, because I'm going to give a little bit of an update on the Face of Horror situation. Free Chili's headphones. If I was alive, I'd kill myself. Chili played Stuart Smalley recordings all night. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And gosh darn it, people like me. And it is frying my brain. Frying your electronics, you know? It looks like an EMP. Good to see you, Free Chili. Appreciate you being here. Chris S. as well says, happy Halloween. James Wolf says, have I reviewed Barbarian yet? I have not seen Barbarian yet, because where I live it's difficult to get to the theater, and I've been waiting for it to come out on streaming, and currently I believe it's on HBO Max, which is not a service that I have, because there's not enough that comes out on it, and so I'm going to have to wait for it to come, but I don't really do reviews, but I haven't seen it yet. And when I do get an opportunity to see it, you can be guaranteed I'm going to stream it in the Discord, in the Week in Horror Discord. Link for that down in the description. Charlie Owen is here. Says, happy Halloween, y'all. Good to see you, Charlie Owen. Chris S. as well. Charlie Welch, member of the Godless Army, says, boo, I'm totally terrified. Good to see you all. Yep, Rasheen, the postage alone. Absolutely. Roseanne Massman is here. Says, hello, JL and everyone. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, Roseanne. Thanks so much for hanging out. Cal Cool J says, evening dividers, using JL's soothing voice to send me off to sleep. It is absolutely my pleasure, Cal Cool J. And I hope you enjoy yourself on this fine, spooky evening. Let's see who else we got here. Sherry Hunter's here, says, happy Halloween. Lolly77 is hello all. Good to see you. Nocturnal X says, I am here. Just finished The Boy Behind the Door. Needed better lighting. Good point there. And Doxy McSnitchy says, I'm here to take down names. Well, there's plenty of names to take down, but the question is, can you afford the postage? So, as Rasheen pointed out. All right, so thank you all so much for hanging out, all of you amazing members of the Godless Army. Appreciate all my channel supporters for helping me to make this, this whole kind of YouTube life possible, and I do appreciate that. So, first and foremost, so as Plothole asks, are you the most horrible face yet? So, let's give a really quick update. So, most of you will have noticed that I really haven't been spamming out the link. I've been putting it out just kind of regularly, but I haven't really been hitting up people's live streams as heavily. And that's because despite all of the fantastic support that got me up to the semifinals, and I will share this over here, just so y'all are aware, unfortunately I am in 9th place. And I've been hovering in 9th place for the better part of a day. Now there are still 3 days left in this, and you can guarantee there's going to be another double vote day. But I think it's pretty much understood that the odds of me pulling this one out are going to be really, really slim. And it's not anybody's fault. What it is really comes down to social media presence. Because, and I had a friend of mine, one of my biggest voters, who is a friend of mine, literally went in and started looking at some of the individuals that I'm up against. So like Dustin Gannon, Raina, Lauren Robbins, Christopher, Ernesto, Rebecca, Tama. So some of these individuals have ridiculously large social media followings as per this genre. And Roseanne Massman says never say never. And I agree. Never say never. I mean, it's not over till the fat lady's guts are all over the floor. But Dustin Gannon, like, this dude is really, really cool. He has a band, really, really cool music. It's music that I find that I'm kind of a fan of. And he is literally, his brand is the internet's goth daddy. So he has a massive TikTok following that's, rallied behind him, and not to mention whoever the individuals he has who are putting, massive donation votes behind him as well. Raina as well also has a massive following. So does Lauren Robin. She's a model. Specializes in spooky, scary, alternative model stuff. Christopher's got a pretty decent following as well, as does Rebecca, and as does Rebecca. Both have their own individual TikTok followings, and then of course Tama has also a massive following because she has worked at Six Flags Fright Fest for the past 11 years. So they have really, really strong internet presences that far exceed mine, just because they've been on the internet and cultivated these kind of brands a lot longer than I have. So it's difficult when my channel, I've got an amazing, I've built my channel quite well for the past year and a half, and I've already broken 3,000 subs. I'm very pleased with it. I'm pleased with the work that I do. But when Dustin's been around, he has a band. He has a band. He has an online brand that he's cultivated over the past I think on nearly 10 years. And he's got, I think his TikTok is in the millions, I think. Or maybe maybe it was the hundreds of thousands. I'm not. My friend told me I've totally spaced. But Dustin's got a really, really good shot at making it to the finals. He's developed the crowd behind him, the crowd support, and same for a lot of these. I'm very pleased to say that in the semifinals, I got because this is randomly assorted the group of 12 that you get put into. I got put into a group of some really talented individuals, some really talented, very creative people, some industry professionals that now some of them are still I'm going to use the money to buy a house, or I'm going to use the money to do this or whatever, and that's cool and everything. They can use them for what use the money for whatever they want, or use the price for whatever they want. But a lot of them are about really putting back into the horror community, into the horror film genre, into the community itself. And I'm really, really proud of that. So to have lost out to a number of people that are extremely talented and very, very popular is still really is still cool to me. Second, I actually got a consolation prize from Face of Horror for making it into the semifinals. They got my shipping details. They're going to ship me something. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a t-shirt. Maybe it's a hat. I don't know. But they're sending me something. So I got a consolation prize for making it into the semis. Or at least I got a prize for making it in. But yeah, this was wild. And these are some really, really strong and talented individuals that I was proud to be in competition with, because Johnny and I were doing, yes, it was a Brave Dark says even 9th place would be bad given the competition. Absolutely. Given the competition, it would not be bad. So one thing I can say is that if you look at the size of the community that I'm a part of, and you look at by comparison, y'all have rallied. So really, this is y'all's big victory to show how y'all came together to support me in this, and support Week in Horror, to support the crew, Johnny and Eugene and Alex and Aaron and Angela and everybody that was involved in this. Y'all are amazing. Okay, I only made it to the semifinals because of y'all. It was by the skin of my teeth as well. Y'all were there. So that was an absolute blast. And Johnny and I were sitting there doing the math, and given how many people entered this contest from the very, very beginning, I made it through 8 rounds. I made it to the 8th round, the semifinals, before the 9th round, which is the finals, when the final 12. So I made it to the last 144 people. So out of all the people that entered Face of Horror, I lasted until the top 144. And I did that with an amazingly powerful and strong community behind me. Give it maybe another year, or give it maybe 2, and I think that we have a legitimate shot at bringing this home, because I think this is going to be an annual thing. It may or may not be, I'm not sure. But if it is an annual thing, and I know if it is, Aaron's going to go into it as well, I'm going to go after it. Now, that being said, and I'm totally cool if I made it to the semis. There's still 3 days left. You never know what's going to happen. If all of a sudden some benefactor, and I reached out to Elon Musk, and he hasn't responded yet, unfortunately. But if some grand benefactor pops in and drops it, you never know, I could skyrocket. I don't count on that happening. I don't expect it to happen. The daily votes are fantastic, and I see them pouring in all the time, so I know the votes are pouring in, but that means they're pouring in for everyone else as well. So you never know. But like I said, it's 3 days until it's over, and there's going to be at least one more 2x vote day. I may get up there, I may not. As far as I'm concerned right now, where I finish in this 12 is pretty badass, because I even, I'm in the top 144, so I'm really just blown away that I got this far, But I've been hovering in 9th for the past, I would say, about a day and a half. So I may go up. I may go up to maybe 5th, maybe 6th. Hard to say, but it was pretty awesome to get this far. So I want to thank all of you for all of your support in getting me to the semifinals. That was badass. I did get a little consolation prize from the people who were running this, and they will also told me that they will let me know how much we were able to raise for the B Plus Foundation, which is pretty freaking awesome. To let us know how much the voters brought in towards the B Plus. They said I can request that information and get it, which I think is pretty awesome. So it was for a good cause. It helped the B Plus Foundation, the Andrew McDonough Foundation, and of course, there were some pretty awesome prizes there. Really talented individuals that were involved in this. You never know what'll happen until the 3 days are up. But then again, if it doesn't happen this year, it may happen next year. Maybe just take some time to build up and get my visibility out there a little bit more. I think it would be pretty badass. So, but a huge giant thank you to all of you for helping to make that happen. All right, I'm going to stop that. So I saw some new people popping in. Saw Agnostic Pagan Mum Jesus was pagan too. Good to see you. Says hello. Thank you so much. Maynard Saves is here. Says hey now. Good to see you, Maynard Saves. Thank you, Roseanne, for popping that link in there so people can go vote if they haven't yet. I appreciate that. Adam Strange says, what's up, horror mongers? Good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. I got to sit there. I'm looking at my screen. I love the way my Jason looks back there. That was just the perfect setup. I love it. Maynard Saves for $2 for my pagan mom and myself. Thank you so much, Maynard Saves, for that super chat. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Those are always great. And they always go a long way to help everything we do here. Ironton Auditor's here. Says, hello, Bridge the Divide and Chad. Good to see you, Ironton Auditor. Thanks so much for being here. Blurple Dragon says, hello there, JL. Irish Demon brings me here. You keep me coming back. Thank you so much, Blurple. I appreciate that. Really, really do. And Christine Lovelace is here. Good to see you, Christine. Thanks so much for hanging out. And we do appreciate you popping in. TTU, CA, and IDA. I know CAL. I don't know IDA. TTU, Trifold Trolls Unite. CA, Kid always wins. Cal, Chili always loses. And IDA. I'm not sure what IDA is. Oh, Nocturnal says, I actually missed the Jason at first. I mostly use YouTube as if it were a podcast. Oh, very cool. So yeah, got my Jason set at the back, and I'm just looking at it. It just looks fantastic right there. Just really I was like, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna set it up like this, and it just turned out so well. Fan-friggin-tastic. All right. Irish Demon Army. Very cool. Irish Demon Army. And I know CAL. Chili always loses. But then again, Kate always wins. It's the first law of mass hole dynamics. All right. Charlie Wells says, if I get told to hit one in the chat one more effing time, I swear. That's why, it kind of, I didn't, obviously we know who started the trend, and I get people doing it because it gets its interaction in the live chat. But welcome I've committed myself to my streams and my content like that to be the kind of respite from from Storm DeCastro. Where you can come here where you don't have to worry about that. He may get mentioned, but when it comes down to it, and I know people are familiar with this, I've said it before, but for those who are new, he literally is a storm that will blow himself out. For those of us in the debunking community, we've seen 100 of them just like him, who simply didn't have the following that he does. Thank you, Maynard Saves, for the super chat. Says, here's 5 more, and by the way, I'm a cannabist. Nice. Thank you so much, Maynard Saves. I appreciate that super chat. You rock. Put a potato bat in the chat. Hey, Christo Kieran. Good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. Oh, it's my pleasure, Charlie Welch, because I know sometimes we need a break. The almost 24-hour news cycle kind of mentality, where it's just this nonstop, never-ending coverage, can really burn people out. And I do not want to burn people out. That's why I'm looking forward to putting out my next video, which is another, not only an exposure of Matt Powell, but Matt Powell also destroys himself in my next video, where I point out like how he says something, he doesn't realize what he said, and because logical entailments, they don't grasp it. Individuals like Matt Powell, Ken Hove, and other people like that, they're philosophically ignorant. And so they will say things not realizing that the entailments of what they've said destroy their position. So, or they reveal the failings of their position, which is always problematic. Oh, let me see who we got here. Thank you so much for the for the emojis. Thank you so much. And thank you for the potato bats, Roseanne Massman. Fangirl98 is here, just popped in to give a like and some love. Good night, everyone. Happy Halloween, Fangirl98. The picture in her PFP right there is what's her name? She's an actress named she was in Pirates of the Caribbean, the last one. Not Stranger Tides. What the heck was it? Kaya Scolodario. And she was in Dead Men Tell No Tales. Javier Bardem, everybody. But Kaya Scolodario. And I always pops it because she was also in the latest Resident Evil movie. And so when I see that face, I always think, she played Claire Redfield in the new Resident Evil film. So it always pops into my head. Let me see here. Yes. Yeah, you got it. I think the trick-or-treaters are done, and Blue Bacon's last mystery was super lame, so here I am. Fantastic, Laura Raider. Thanks so much for being here, and a member of the Godless Army. I do appreciate the support, and thank you for the emojis. Appreciate that. All right. Okay, so... didn't I say the name? Kaya Scolodario? Scodelario? Kaya Scodelario. Kaya Scodelario is her name. And I've seen her in a bunch of stuff, but obviously she was in Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales, and then, of course, she was in the new Resident Evil film. So, all right. So, now that we've done an update on the Face of Horror front, and, of course, I got new content coming out as well. And I hear that people were, looking at some... Oh, Maynard Saves for 5 Freedom says, this is to combat Matt Powell. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Maynard. I appreciate that super chat. So how about we take a look at some spooky stuff? Now, this was actually sent to me. There's an individual on Discord who contacted me after one of the Sunday streams where hey, Angel Rivera, good to see you. This is good evening. Thank you so much. The dog has Zuzu, my foster. Yeah, Turk's going a little crazy. Good to see you, Angel Rivera, member of the Godless Army. Appreciate you being here. So from the Sunday streams have gotten me a lot of attention, and there's an individual on Discord that contacted me and sends me videos for me to debunk. So it's like, hey, can you debunk this? And I was like, absolutely, I'll take a look and we'll debunk it. So I downloaded it, and here it is, top 10 scary ghost videos to freak you out. And no, I have not seen Black Adam yet. I'm not a giant DC fan. So if I do happen to catch it, it'll be because I'm not doing anything else and because I happen to be in front of the TV. So if I do happen to watch it, but I have not seen it as of yet. Let me see. Mr. Lawrence here. Did you see the Mountains of Madness pictures I sent you? In Discord? It has to be in Discord. It would be in the horror art. Oh, those are cool. Oh, that's from Charlie. That's from Captain Welshie. I think I did. Captain Welshie. See a lot from Captain Welshie. I'll have to go through it here in a bit. Because there's a lot of art. We have an art section that we credit the artists and then put samples of their artwork off of social media and the horror art. So you can see all the cool stuff that people do. Oh, he sent in Messenger. I'll have to give it a look, Mr. Malord. And appreciate you being here, bud. Laura Raider says, there was a fabulous Dia de los Muertos festival here in San Antonio last night. I imagine there was. And I love San Antonio, especially at night. Especially the Riverwalk. It's just gorgeous. All right, so here we go. We're going to dive in. So this was sent to me by a friend on Discord who wanted me to debunk this. And I'm going to lower the volume a bit because it seemed like it was a little bit loud. So let's do this. So this is, I guess, Nuke's top 5. I probably could have edited all this out.
Anonymous TikTok user BV11 says that for the last 2 years he's been...
If you want the narration, let me know if you want the narration or if you don't want the narration. If you do, I'll leave it up. But if you don't, I can just drop the volume on it. James Wolf says, see the Terrifier picture behind you. It looks mean-spirited and gore for gore's sake, worth a watch. Terrifier is amazing, but you've got to have the stomach for it. It's a really gruesome movie, and Terrifier 2 is even more so. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I loved Terrifier. I thought Art the Clown was brilliant. Damien Leone is fantastic. I love his work. So Rosamund says, volume up. Okay, fantastic. Gosh of Heckfire, happy Halloween. Good to see you. Thanks so much for being here, bud. Appreciate it. Here we go.
Dealing with unnerving paranormal activity in his home in Texas. He says that it's gotten so bad that he can't sleep without the lights on. So, one night one of his friends is sleeping over when BV11 begins to hear strange sounds coming from his bedroom closet.
Get up. Get up. Get up. You recorded me for. You're here. Listen. Sleep.
We got a thumping. Okay. Was he sleeping in his pants? Sleeping in his jeans? That's interesting for somebody who, I mean, sleeping in his jeans. I know that people sometimes fall asleep with their jeans, but he was under the covers. So I find that kind of odd, considering he may have known he was going to be on camera and didn't want to be in his underwear on camera. Or maybe just didn't put his pajamas on. I don't know. Already I'm a little iffy. Okay. Here's another weird thing. It was difficult to tell where the thumping was coming from. They say it's coming from the closet, but it's hard to say that it was coming from the closet. So they just went to the closet. So it could have been coming, because to me, honestly, leading up to it, it sounded like it was coming from the wall. But, you know, it's audio when you're handheld like that is kind of wonky the way those the way the audio or the audio capture is on a handheld camera. So difficult to say. Adam says, kept his pants on so nothing happened with his friend. Oh! And member of the Godless Army, thanks so much, Adam. Appreciate that. Yeah, I've fallen asleep in my jeans as well, but not under the covers. I've fallen asleep in my jeans because I laid on the bed and passed out because I was tired. PhD Tony says, did the door partially open on his way towards it, or am I seeing things? Let's take a look. I think that was the lighting. As the light moved, it was shadow. So I think that was a trick of the light.
That made you more. I'm getting out of this room. I can't sleep in here. This
BB11 wakes up his friend and opens the closet door, only to find nothing inside. Now,
well, there's no confirmation that the sound was coming from the closet anyway.
his friend is actually skeptical and really just seems to be very annoyed by the whole ordeal. But either way, TikTok user BV11 makes it his mission to record evidence of his terrifying experiences. Late one night, when he's all alone, he hears sounds coming from the hallway just outside his bedroom. He quickly grabs his phone and begins to record.
Plot hole, I did see the last one. I did see the moonwalk one. I did see that. Thank you. Bloodbrook Dragon says, JL, do you believe in ghosts? No, I do not believe in ghosts. I don't believe that souls exist. I don't believe that spirits exist. I do not believe in ghosts. What I have attempted to present in the past, much to my chagrin, because I did not communicate it well enough, was that that energy is pretty, like, energy in and of itself, from a physics standpoint, can get kind of wonky depending upon whether you're looking at it through, general relativity, or you're looking through, like, the universe itself, or quantum effects. I have attempted to articulate in the past that what we interpret as ghosts, we may be misidentifying a natural phenomena that we don't readily understand. So I've tried to communicate in the past, and I got saddled for like 9 months with JL believes in ghosts. I don't believe in ghosts. I do, it's just like that. I don't believe in ghosts. But I think it's misidentification. I think that the people who see ghosts are misidentifying natural phenomenon. It's either tricks of the light that they've seen out of the corner of their eye, it's patterns in chaos, whereas there's not really anything there, but their brain assembles a pattern, and then they interpret that pattern to be something, like seeing faces in the texture paint of your wall. So I think it's misidentification of natural phenomena. It's just something that you caught, your brain made a pattern, and then you interpret that because you already know what ghosts are, you interpret it as a ghost. Or something unexpected. Like I see a person where I see like a person walk by that I didn't expect to see a person walk by, and therefore it's a ghost. You know? So I think it's a combination of those. Pareidolia, apophenia, so misidentification of natural phenomena. Of course, confirmation bias goes into it, because if you already believe in ghosts and you go ghost hunting and you go looking for ghosts, then anything that may be interpreted as ghosts, you will automatically interpret as ghosts instead of interpreting it critically and saying, that's probably not a ghost, I'm probably misidentifying something because you were looking for ghosts, so because you already believe that they exist. So that's the difficulty there. Hey, Brian Powell, good to see you. Rose M. Aspen says, that is fake. If he were that scared, he wouldn't have grabbed his phone to record. I'd grab my Berna and head out the front or back door. Good point. Excellent point. Elizabeth Sylvester says, hey, JL. Good to see you, Elizabeth Sylvester. Sherry Hunter says, I had a raccoon in my attic that made lots of sounds. Always, you see, natural phenomena. Definitely. How do we know the... Laura Rader says, got distracted. How do we know the neighbors weren't banging against the wall? Because they were busy, hanging pictures. Right. So there's for all the 1,000 types of explanations, people tend to, for some reason, some individuals want to jump to the most extreme. It's kind of like one of my, hey, Fancy Pants, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. I'm a ghost. So one of my absolute favorite scenes from, and I'll always kind of reference back to a movie, because movies will convey things that are important, or the ideas or concepts that are important. And it was from the Joan of Arc movie, The Messenger, starring Mila Jovovich and Dustin Hoffman. Really, really, just a good film, just a good overall film. But there's a key moment in it when Dustin Hoffman's character comes in, because Dustin Hoffman's character is kind of like the other. And so she winds up having a conversation with Dustin Hoffman. She doesn't know who he is, like whether he's God or he's the devil or he's her own manifestation of her subconscious. But she's having this conversation, and her subconscious, or Dustin Hoffman's character, is literally telling her, you were playing because when she was a child, she found a sword in a field, and she took that as a sign that she was to be a great warrior. She's like, because a sword doesn't just appear in a field. And he was like, you are correct. There are an infinite number of ways a sword could wind up in a field. Right? So there's an infinite number of ways a sword could wind up in a field. And of all the possibilities of why a sword was in a field, and it goes through several of them. Someone dropped it while they were running. Someone was killed and they dropped it. Someone got fed up with the life and they threw it away. And of all the possibilities, she chose the sword was descended from heaven and bequeathed to her by God. That people tend to see what they want to see, and then they'll use that to justify their pre-held beliefs. So that's where I kind of fall in that. That's where I try to keep that in mind a lot when looking at things. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that movie, but it was like, wow, yes, epistemology, very, very important. Very important not to have breaks in your epistemology. Essentially the study of how we know things, of how we believe things, of how we justify those beliefs. And if you have one epistemological standard for one thing, and then one epistemological standard for something else entirely because of an irrational reason, like it makes you feel better, it may feel rational because it makes you feel better, but it's by definition irrational, then that's a break in the epistemology. And that needs to be addressed, because that break between, say, gravity and God, there's a break there. So, but that break does not just sit there between those two. That break extends to other things as well. And then breaks in epistemology lead to irrational beliefs. Irrational beliefs lead to irrational behavior. Irrational behavior leads to societal division. So on and so forth. Wrote it, no last name says, if there are no ghosts, then explain the Patrick Swayze movie. Oh, page 20 says, I have actually only seen that scene from that film. That's very true. Yeah, so this is why, that's why I like it. You can see where the inspiration for my channel came from. was from like moments like that was conveyed so incredibly well. Was, discoursing on that very notion, how Joan of Arc is sitting in her cell having a conversation with herself, and this is all fictional. It's a fictional account. It's a movie, but having this character having a conversation with themselves about the break in their own epistemology, and then coming to the self-realization that she was not as good as she thought she was. So really, really good stuff. Let's go back to this. So he grabbed his phone. He heard something. He grabbed his phone, and he's going to record. This is obviously a reenactment. So let's go to the footage.
BV-11 makes it his mission to record evidence of his terrifying experiences.
That's at least a good
One
thing.
night, when he's all alone, he hears sounds coming from the hallway just outside his bedroom. He quickly grabs his phone and begins to record. What happens next is downright chilling.
Okay, guys, I think this might be the last time.
Hey, Ordinary Jeff. Hey, Anna. Good to see you. Member of the Godless Army. Thanks so much. Oh, okay, that door was unnecessarily creepy. Brighten the footage and you can see it better. I don't know, there's a way for me to brighten it, and the problem with brightening footage like this, especially on a handheld that's been put through YouTube and now I've taken it from YouTube, is that you would lose pixelation. I can already see a kind of shadow of what looks to be a person standing there. And just at first glance, it kind of looks like the Zuni fetish doll from Trilogy of Terror. I'm just throwing that out there because the shape of it, the big head and the kind of slender body and everything, max that door creak. That's right. WD-40 will solve that problem. Hey, Skooma Cat, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much. Humanoid shadow. Yes, there's a humanoid shadow there. It looks very similar to the Zuni fetish doll. Let's see what we got. Come on.
A strange, bizarrely shaped dark figure charges toward him, and he quickly slams his door shut. But what do you think this could be?
I think that could be a person in a black suit. I think that is a person in a blackout suit. I think that's what that is.
Is BV-11's home haunted, or is it all just an elaborate hoax?
Because the way they move looks like they're in a blackout suit.
You decide.
I'm doing good, Skooma. Thank you. So that's fake.
Priory.
That's 100%
Paranormal
fake.
investigators Jeff, Phil, and Mark from the YouTube channel Ghost Tech Paranormal Investigations.
Ghost Tech Paranormal. That's hilarious. So, Rodinilla Name says, ghosts don't haunt my house. I creep them out. The ghost is like, I'm the fuck out of here. James Wolfe says, apparently around 18% of people attest to having had encounters with ghosts. Appeal to popularity and more of an attestation to the state of one's lucidity at certain times, but interesting. Agreed. Very, very true. But then when you also factor in the fact that a significant percentage of the population suffers from sleep paralysis and night terrors, not to mention dreams and how REM sleep works, and then REM cycles, and you factor in basically the way a good friend of mine likes to put it is the brain is a bastard. The brain is an absolute asshole when it comes to our peripheral perceptions. Because the brain will try to make sense out of everything. It will try to find patterns in everything that it can, because that is a part of our survival instinct. Seeing patterns allows us to understand the world around us, and allows us to come to conclusions very, very quickly. The problem is that oftentimes the patterns we see have no value, but we attribute them values, and so therefore we jump ahead and we make quick knee-jerk reactions. So that's what results in that. The name of the channel is Fake. Oh, interesting, Mr. Fortuitz. That's the guy robbing his house. Oh, Blue says, wow, my therapist told me the same thing. Geez, do you people have an allergy to WD-40? I know, right? 3 dweebs in a camera. Adam Strange, how dare you put that evil on us? Come on. But in order to complete the summoning, you have to sacrifice a mitochondria. My dogs are doing something.
Are invited to spend the night at the 900-year-old ruins of the haunted Merton Priory Chapter House in London, England. From the years 1114 to 1538, the chapter house was a meeting room and part of a gigantic cathedral that no longer exists today.
Intriguing.
Museum trustee John Hawks believes that a presence haunts the ancient ruins.
I've always felt that there was a presence here. There was an extraordinary atmosphere. We may be under a road on slabs of concrete, but I think that the kind of spirit we have here is a very benign one.
PhD Tony says, your body says fuck the rationality argument. Here's a shitload of adrenaline. Absolutely. 100%. Because it's all about survival. It's all about making sure you survive. It's all about ensuring that that wind passing through the reeds, that movement is not a lion. And so if you think it's probably a lion and I can't see it, but it's moving the grass, so I'm going to run away and the lion doesn't eat me, that situation.
In this room, in the chapter house...
Oh, it's a very benign presence.
Large churches and finding graves under the floor. Yep. In this room, there are 31 graves under the floor. 31 skeletons were dug up.
As the trustee mentions, the ruins were excavated in the late 1980s, and 31 bodies were found buried under the floor. The bodies are believed to be the remains of monks from the cathedral, and it is thought that many passed away from the plague. That night, the Ghost Tech team sets up their static cameras and begin their investigation. Jeff sits on the floor asking questions of the alleged spirit.
See, here's the problem here, is that one, they're already going in with the knowledge of what the place was. So it's bodies everywhere, and... Sorry, y'all, you'll have to give me 1 second. Let's go ahead and hit play, and I'm going to deal with the situation out here.
At least I know that
1980s, and 31 bodies were found buried under the floor. The bodies are believed to be the remains of monks from the cathedral, and it is thought that many passed away from the plague. That night, the Ghost Tech team sets up their static cameras and begin their investigation. Jeff sits on the floor asking questions of the alleged spirit, and then things take a terrifying turn.
if there's something that you can do to let us know that you can hear my voice, please move something, even throw something at me, I don't mind. At least I know that you're here and that you're listening. No, I guess I must be sitting on top of where lots of the skeletons were found. Can you come and take a seat next to me?
Okay, let's take a look at that again. Sorry about that. There was apparently kind of last-minute trick-or-treaters, and they set the dogs off. That's what happened. Let's back that up, because as we were saying, they're already going in with the pre-old conception. Whether or not these guys believe, we don't know. They assert that they do. Maybe they don't. But they're already going in. They're setting the stage for the viewer that this is potentially haunted. Look at all this death and misery that kind of precedes all of this. And then they're going in. They're asking questions.
Things take a terrifying turn.
And hey, Facty, good to see you.
You can do to let us know that you can hear my voice. Please move something, even throw something at me, I don't mind. At least I know that you're here and that you're listening. No, I guess I must be sitting on top of where lots of the skeletons were found. Can you come and take a seat next to me?
I didn't see anything.
I felt the floor move behind me and I heard footsteps right up behind me.
But they weren't captured on camera. Or the recording device. You literally just jumped up from a spot. Oh, come on.
can you come and take a seat next to me?
That could have been somebody off camera.
When we review the footage and audio, the footsteps are louder on static cam 1. Here is the audio taken from static cam 1.
Can you come and take a seat next to me? Hi there. I heard you.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's way too much. Maybe knowing too much about film production. You know, this thing is set up for them. You know, this actual like full-on production. There's more people in that room than we are seeing. So there are camera operators, there are lighting technicians, there's a sound technician, everybody's in there. I have no doubt as far as like a televised production goes, because televised productions don't just go out there, just like two people go out with a camera and nobody else. There's people there to ensure that people, to make sure that everybody's taken care of. They're going to be in the spot for a long time, so you have at least have PAs running around doing the little tasks that need to get done in order to make sure the thing goes off without a hitch. And not to mention editing. This all goes through the editing, because you can't put 8 hours of straight footage into one show, so you have to edit it up. And if you're taking your footage, your raw footage, and then taking it to the editing suite, and then we see the after effect, you know, there's way too many possibilities here. The chain of custody is broken in a sort of sense. Jack Burton says, I saw mediocre acting. Very true. Good to see you, Jack Burton. Appreciate you being here, bud. Yeah, it's an entertainment production. PG Tony says, someone in a genuine panic would not stand up in that fashion. If you dissect the ergonomics of it, he's not on adrenaline. Very good point. Yes, Mr. For Twitch, it's an entertainment production. When you Laura Raiders says, when you can't effectively fake it with props, just pretend you heard something. Agreed. Listen, you smell something? Excellent. Yes, wrote no last name. Ghostbusters reference. Oh, they don't take 8 hours of footage. I've heard that some do. That they record the entire time they're there and then they just cut everything down, or at least they present it like that's what they're doing. So let's take a.
Drops his.
1 sec.
Static cam 1. Here is the audio taken from static cam 1.
Can you come and take a seat next to me? Hi there. I heard you. Sorry you made me jump.
Jeff jumps up in shock as he feels movement on the floorboards and hears footsteps right behind him.
Or he
Now,
says
Jeff
he
is
does.
normally very calm and composed during their investigations, but he freaks right out and even drops his recorder to the floor and almost breaks it as he jumps to his feet.
Those recorders not that expensive. That little handheld recorder, well, full-on televised production, yeah, that's covered.
However, the Ghost Tech team has no idea that they captured something even more shocking. A static camera recording the ruins where the 31 bodies were found captures something truly eerie. A dark figure seems to walk from the preserved coffins on display against the back wall and simply disappears into thin air. The Ghost Tech team has no explanation for what they captured, and they believe that they might have recorded paranormal evidence of the spirit that is said to haunt the Chapter House Museum.
So, what do we call this, ladies and gentlemen? I know y'all know it because we've talked about it before. It's actually a very common occurrence and very easy to do, especially if you're doing it on purpose. Imagine watching a Marvel movie without visual effects. Yeah, Roseanne says the narrator tries his best to make it more dramatic than it is. Dumb, which actually works. It works against it as well. Yeah. Layover.
Watch this entire investigation and many more spooky moments over on the YouTube channel, Ghost Tech Paranormal Investigations.
And go check out our channel so you can see all the other stuff we
ghost
faked.
Video online or recorded one yourself, please send it my way at nukestop5@gmail.com. the abandoned arcade. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to find a source for this next video, but from what I have gathered, the footage was captured by security cameras at an abandoned pachinko arcade in Nagano, Japan. It is said that the ghost of a young girl is often seen inside this abandoned arcade.
I think he mispronounced that. I think he did. Let me know if he did. If he mispronounced. I always thought it was Nagano. So.
The CCTV footage seems to show a policeman investigating after an alarm in the
Seems to show a policeman. That's
abandoned
good.
arcade was
Body
set
cam.
off by something. What happens next is downright chilling.
He mispronounced it hard. I thought so.
What looks like the figure of a young girl can be seen following the policeman, but he doesn't see or hear anything. When the policeman turns to leave,
I'm thinking that this is just straight out. It's not even camera trickery. I'm pretty sure that was inserted into the footage. That's why they think that this whole thing is staged.
the girl can be seen suddenly crouching nearby.
Yeah.
Now, because there's no source, we'll probably just never know
And then it
what
just
happened.
And then it just disappears like that. That image right there is actually laid into the original footage.
What looks like the figure of a young girl can be seen following the policeman, but he doesn't see or hear
A woman that looks like it's carrying a baby. So
anything. When the policeman turns to leave, the girl can be seen suddenly crouching nearby. Now, because there's no source, we'll probably just never know what happened.
and it disappears right as he turns
So,
around.
the footage
It's
remains
convenient.
unexplained.
Yeah.
My Haunted Hotel.
And interesting, yeah, Sherry Hunter said it's always a girl like the girl in the ring. That's because those types of ghosts and the description of those with the hair like that is very, very common for that type of ghost in Japan. Which is why the Grudge girl, which is why the Grudge ghost and the Ring ghost, they're so common. They're very similar, and they move in that very, they move in that really, really static, the staccato way, like the movement stuff like that. So that's a very common ghost interpretation in Japanese filmmaking. T. Stoney says, strange that the camera can see it, but the human eye can't. Actually, yeah, that's true. James Wolfe says, you have covered the 3 men and a baby ghost. It's so well known. I haven't covered it myself personally, but supposedly it was originally thought to be a ghost of a child or something on the set of 3 Men and a Baby, but that was caught in one particular scene. But it turns out it was just a Ted Danson cutout that was folded in half, and it was left on stage, and it was accidentally caught. So, Colorado Biker is here. Good to see you. It says, all hail Satan, Satan, Satan. All hail Bacon, Satan, Satan, Satan. Yeah, or hail Sagan. Thank you so much, Colorado Baker. Appreciate you being here. Logan Sandman as well. Good to see you. I think AZ Jeep Girl popped in. Good to see you. Says, oh, I'm so glad I found this. Have done several paranormal investigations. I love watching these videos. Fantastic. And then, of course, Abby Paulin is here. Good to see you. Says, we are watching. Says, what are we watching? We're watching some creepy videos. And to see Haley Taylor, Psychotic Banshee, says, why are the security cameras still switched on in an abandoned arcade? Excellent question there, Haley. Fantastic question. All right. And Ordinary Jeff says, Rick, I better hurry up with an antidote. You're starting to look like 90s anime ghost Morty. Let me see. Oh, hello, baby. Good to see you. Happy Halloween. Thanks so much for being here. Oh, I had to change the hails just for Halloween. Hell yes. Waiting for your millions of lawsuits. That's so true.
You might recall from our previous story on Nuke's Top 5 that at the allegedly very haunted Ye Olde King's Head Inn in Chester, England, the owner, along with his 2 friends, actually allow curious ghost seekers to spend the night at the 400-year-old inn and investigate them.
Hey, Daffin, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. Renee, good to see you. PlayStation Fatal Frame game series had great jump scares. It absolutely did. That game freaked me out. And actually, the story behind that is that I went to great lengths to find the Xbox version, not the PS2 version, because the Xbox version, the engine was more, the system was more powerful and played a much better visually looking or visual game. So I found it, brought it home, turned off all the lights in the apartment, and I kicked that game up. Within 5 minutes, I had all the lights back on. I was like, nope, can't do this at night. Can't do it, because that game was scary.
Paranormal activity for themselves, and the guests usually find something spooky. It's all captured by their 16 CCTV cameras and posted to their YouTube channel, My Haunted Hotel. Well, since our last update, some new spooky incidents have been caught on camera at the hotel. Of course, there are the usual hotel guests who come in as skeptics with a bit of an attitude.
Someone can have it right now, actually. Oh, Katie, no. Look at her. What's she doing? It's not funny, Katie. You know
This is the doll.
What are you carrying it for?
Oh, she's got to bear out to the back, Katie.
But then when something invisible pounds on your door, it's likely to change your skeptical mind.
But it could be laughter.
The children are.
Is there a child? Are you outside that door? On the back door.
That's got to be the door. That is the door. Oh my god.
Are you outside that door?
It was a banging on a door in this kind of haunted house style situation. Come on.
But they have caught some other chilling evidence that even freaks out the My Haunted Hotel team. In this clip, the team is gathered in the restaurant of the hotel with a group of guests when they experience something that shocks them all.
I need to hear you, Charles. I need to know who you are. Is your surname Griffith?
Seriously? Come on now. PC Tony. No human could bang on a door like that.
Sorry, glass. It was the glass. The glass fell off. The glass fell off. Thing. Wow.
What?
The glass fell off.
The second piece of evidence is just as astonishing as the first, and we are able to document this moment from 4 different cameras, which clearly capture what we deem to be poltergeist activity, as a glass is flung from the function room bar.
Hang on a sec. Let's back that up.
Sorry, glass. It was the glass. The glass fell off.
Hey, Basic Trig, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here, Ben.
The glass fell off.
No string could move a glass like that. See, I don't even see it here.
The first, and we are able to document this moment from 4 different cameras, which clearly capture what we deem to be poltergeist activity.
What we
as a
deem to
glass
be.
is flung from the function room bar.
I need to know who you are. Is your surname Griffith? Is your surname Griffith?
Oh, come on. It slid across? Why not just pick up and fly? No, only my... Why not just pick it up? Why do they always slide across so they fall off? It's like it's nothing but the ghosts of cats.
Is your surname Griffith? I didn't even get on to the fact that there were glasses on the bar, so when something made a noise I thought something had just moved behind this bar until Phoebe screamed in my face that it was the glass. Look, there is no way. It flings back this way. Like, there's just no way.
But that's not all that they've captured at the inn over the last month. In the middle of the day, a security camera in the hallway outside room 5 captures something the My Haunted Hotel team
As
just
Jeep Girl
can't
says, this
explain.
look, yeah, every encounter's had is much more subtle. This looks staged.
A shadow
Really?
figure seems to just materialize at the end of the hallway and then quickly disappears.
Or it's somebody there whose shadow they moved out of the way. So,
Harry, Brett, and Danny are shocked and thrilled by what their security camera caught on video. The team says that they have always hoped to capture a full-bodied apparition on video in the hotel. So, to watch many more spooky incidents that the team and hotel guests experience within Ye Old King's Head Inn, you can go to the YouTube channel, My Haunted Hotel.
yeah, go check out my YouTube channel where you see thousands and thousands of views.
Beware the purple chair. Proud mother Martina claims that she and her family are terrorized by a dark supernatural entity that haunts their home. Martina has set up a series of static cameras to keep a safe watch on her children, but she also caught some footage that is absolutely unnerving.
That's wind. So that was wind because the air pressure pushed the door open, and then the change of pressure is what pulled this door open. That actually happens in my house all the time. The way my front door and the back door are set up, that if one is not locked and one is not engaged, that it will actually do that. So that's just air pressure within the house. Oh, I hate it when it does this. Come on.
Two doors move by themselves and the boy calls for his mother, but
Well, that's wind.
otherwise doesn't seem that concerned. But as he continues to play his video game, his chair is forcefully pushed backwards, finally sending the boy running from Mama. Cut to another day, and Martina
Or
is
the chair was
casually
pulled
vacuuming
from
the hallway carpet. Then this happens. Again, a door moves by itself, and Martina.
What is wrong with this Hoover? Oh, I'm okay. HF3 says, poor children, I'm willing to bet that they're in on it. And she says, what is wrong with this Hoover after the sucker just apparently just like floated up in the air? Yeah, and what's really interesting is if you watch, let's back it up real quick. If you watch, when she waves at it, her hands never go directly above it. She slaps at it. Yeah, what is wrong with this Hoover? It's a Dyson, not what's wrong with the Hoover. It's mad because you misidentified it. But yeah, the but her hands never swing around like that because you wouldn't want to hit the whatever's picking it up. What is wrong with this Hoover? And good point, Abby Pollen. Says, I bet there is an attic door in that hallway. Quite possibly.
Again, a door moves by itself, and Martina's vacuum seems to float into the air as she hysterically slaps and screams at it until it just drops back to the ground. But the creepy activity doesn't stop there. Martina and her son are home alone one night when the living room security camera captures this. The outside door opens and closes on its own as the door handle rapidly rotates as if
Hang on a sec.
being turned by some invisible force. Martina grabs her phone and is about to record the door when the purple desk chair suddenly glides toward her and her son. The two have had enough and are about to hurry out of the living room, but something seems to forcefully pull at Martina's sweater. So is this real poltergeist activity caught on camera? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide. Passing through.
And that's possible, or it could have been set up. Or it could have been set up that way. Absolutely. Hey. Oh, wow.
And I brought you a sandwich too.
Oh, thank you.
So you're not just a little kid.
Eating corn dogs. Thank you. My wife just came in, and they had 50-cent corn dogs at Sonic all day long for Halloween. And I'm thinking that's an absolute hoax. So yeah, thank you, Nocturnal Lux. It's swivel chair time. Yes, always with the swivel chair. Swivel chair slides, yep. The Hoover hovercraft, no more dragging it around. What is wrong with this Hoover? That's hilarious. Raven Darcy says, you know full well if that had been real, she wouldn't have slapped at it. She would have run like hell. Absolutely.
Stop.
That is absolutely true.
They've been living nuts.
If you saw what I just saw in the back door, like when I opened the back door, they almost ran me over. Huh?
What was it?
They almost ran me over, but then they sounded like hellhounds, and they just started. And it was like taunting.
Is there something in the backyard?
No. Oh, but there is a fire truck and an ambulance right over here.
Oh, so we may have gotten hurt. Sorry about that. Let's see what we got. Passing through. Oh, that's probably something I should be doing is watching the live chat because watching the live chat on...
And is about to record the door when the purple desk chair...
I should be watching the live chat on YouTube because I don't see membership chats when they come through. So give me 1 second. Because if any membership chats have come through, I apologize. I haven't seen them. I do not see it. Okay, so I'll keep double checking. I will keep double checking to make sure see if I see anything coming through. All right, here we go.
He glides toward her and
so we know that this was a fake.
The two of them are about to hurry out of the living room, but something seems to forcefully pull at Martina's sweater. So
hang on a sec. I thought I saw something.
The two have had enough and are about to hurry out of the living room, but something seems to force.
I swear, it's so quick. Her sweater is definitely hanging on something. Definitely hung on something. My question is that she went to the door, but there is. If you look at her shirt from when she's first sitting. So yeah, if you look at when she's sitting,
opens and closes on it.
Okay, see how she's leaning on that side? It's the side that gets caught.
As the door handle rapidly
and then she and then she sits up, and then we never see where it's at. That side is always kept off camera.
Invisible force. Martina grabs her phone and is about to record.
You see, and I think that's what it was. Is that's why this is already set up.
When the purple desk chair suddenly glides,
and then of course that could just be pulled
toward her and her son. The two have had enough and are about to hurry out of the living room, but something seems to forcefully pull at Martina's sweater. So is this real poltergeist activity caught on camera? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax?
Yeah, hoax.
You decide.
Definitely a hoax.
Passing through.
Alright, what's this one?
Explorer Chris from the YouTube channel Urbex Hill is back on another creepy exploration. This time he explores an abandoned and allegedly haunted factory that was built back in 1916 and has been deserted for over 50 years. Chris makes his first on-screen appearance in this video, and just saying, but he looks like he could probably kick a ghost ass. Even he starts to get a bit freaked out as he explores the old factory. Soon after arriving, Chris captures something very creepy on camera.
Oh, great. Rosa Messman says, fake, her house is too pristine in this video. No one has a house that tidy with a kid. Gotta look good when you're on camera. Renee says, piece of thread that breaks after enough tension was applied. Good point. And Rave Dark says, one of the things I hate about have to use on-screen keyboards that cuts off part of the video. Oh, good point, yeah. Let's see, I call bullshit. Watch the top of the chair vibrate. Looks like someone pulling it. Yeah, good point. Yeah. Said that last one was a hoax.
I wonder what these things are used for. It's like these shells are all connected. It seems like. Yeah. Can't tell though.
A dark figure can be seen quickly moving out of sight at the end of a small tunnel system. But in the dark, Chris doesn't even notice the strange shape and just continues exploring.
That could be something with the camera, or there could be a second person there. So
Chris sets up a static infrared camera to record himself as he checks out the main hall of the factory. What happens next is downright chilling.
Chilling. Back from the dead. Second person, there's a second person in the area. There absolutely is. Also because urban explorers typically tend to go in pairs, just in the event that somebody, because they're walking into decrepit, old, abandoned areas, and if someone gets hurt, they don't want to get stuck and unable to use their phone. People have learned, people have gotten, a good idea about this from 127 hours, is that you just don't go off alone no matter what you're doing. You always go with a buddy, and urban explorers always have buddies. That's the way you are, because also, when you're walking into abandoned places, if you walk into a bunch of people doing drugs, or if you walk into a drug deal going on, or if you walk dangerous people, or homeless people, you never know what you're going to run into alone. So you never want to be alone. You always want to have backup. So urban explorers, it's a rule of thumb. You always go in pairs. At minimum, you go with two people, so that you have someone who is always available that they can get a hold of the authorities in case something has to happen, whatever. So in case they find something that they need to, or a tweaked out meth head, or so you never know what you can run across. So you always go second. And then when you're doing stuff like this, where it's naturally creepy, then you can have the second person faking stuff, like moving in the background to make it look like dark shadows moving, or making sounds back there when I'm alone, that kind of thing. So that's the key point. Urban explorers are never alone, because if he got hurt, and he couldn't get to his phone, if he fell through, if he went upstairs and he fell through a floor, then you never know, and he could break a leg and not be able to get to his phone, or break his back, and that's why you never do that. And you definitely don't leave expensive equipment unattended. So there's always a second pair of eyes watching your back, and you're watching theirs.
Hear that? That was loud. What the hell? What the f?
Now he's setting the stage for his audience. Ordinary Jeff says, I go out into the hills around here alone, checking out old mines. Oh, urban, yeah, totally different. And definitely you need to be careful doing that, because there was that one guy on YouTube who explored old mines, and that was kind of like what his channel was just exploration out there, and he found a mine that I think that was not any recent maps, and he wanted to go back and look at it again, and he went back out there, and they never found him again. And he disappeared. So, and I'm pretty sure to this day they still don't know where he went. So, but that was because he may have fallen down an old shaft, and because he was either too far below ground, or he lost his phone, or his phone died, they weren't able to track him down and find where he was. So it's always really, really good. It's the rule of thumb, you go in pairs. Just like hiking. You never hike alone.
What's that?
Randy says, I'm guessing you don't believe in the paranormal. I just got here. Good to see you, Randy. Thanks so much for hanging out. I think it's the first time you've been here. I appreciate you being here. No, I do not believe in the paranormal. too much, I guess would be like too much of an understanding as to how the brain works and how our perception works and how our brains are assholes and are designed to essentially our survival mechanisms, it's in a sense trick us into seeing things that we want to see or things that we expect to see or things that we need to be aware of, be afraid of in order to keep us alive. So too much, understanding things like cognitive bias, survival mechanisms, pareidolia, apophenia, the number of things that, not to mention tricks of the light, the fact that our eyes suck as far as like the animal kingdom goes. So yeah, just understand, you can see why these things come off the way they do. Not to mention that if you look at it from a critical standpoint, the vast majority of people believe in this stuff, and and virtually all of them, they want evidence of it to confirm what they believe. And so the person who captures that evidence or presents that evidence is always going to get attention from the vast majority of the population. So if it's good, there it is. Okay? But if not, then whatever. But this is literally his channel. This is what he does. So he goes out there and has these creepy encounters, and people will come there flocking, hoping to see evidence of the paranormal. But always keep in mind, hey, Steve6464, good to see you. And yeah, unfortunately, wrote in last name, I've fallen to 9th, unfortunately, been hanging there for about a day or a day and a half or so. But also when it comes down to it, is that, I had a thought there and then I lost it. So I was talking about, damn it, I hate when that happens. The vast majority of people are, they view it, they expect it to be true because they already believe in it, so they're looking for that evidence, and then that creates a market for individuals to make money off of. So whether or not that's real or not doesn't matter, but, they can all be broken down. And so, yeah, we keep looking because as intellectually honest individuals, we will always leave room for more evidence. Even if, that's the whole big thing that, the whole big thing about it is about intellectual honesty. So the reason we call a theory is because we will never say that we have 100% of all of the information when there is more area to explore. So because there's more stuff out there that we don't know than we do know, and we acknowledge this because we have not explored all of the space, so we don't know everything that's in the environment. So we will always say we have the best understanding we have regarding given the evidence we have access to. So we will always call things a theory, the best explanatory model possible given the evidence at hand. So that's how we develop these things. But we will always leave room for more evidence to come in. Even if, say, we had explored all the known universe. We could travel faster than light. We'd seen everything. We had it all mapped. Even if we got to that point and we knew that there was nothing else beyond this, we would still only say we have 100. We don't have 100% of the information. We will never say absolute because science doesn't work in absolutes. Because there could always be more. There could always be more knowledge or more evidence or information out there that can be acquired that can better improve your model. So it's about intellectual honesty. And then you look at all of the possibilities and you say, yep, we cannot eliminate this, but we can eliminate these things, given what we know about reality. So that's literally the whole point when it comes down to it. We'll say that 99.9, judging by what we know about reality, these things do not exist, and they're a structure of people's imaginations, misidentification, and they really, really want it to be true. And while I don't fault for them, this is true. Colorado Biker says, you will win a freaking Nobel Prize for overturning a standing scientific theory. Because it literally changes the scope of what we understand about reality. So, for example, like the big thing about it, and this is going to come down to it. So no, you cannot reach an absolute conclusion through pure elimination in any instance. I will never say that we've reached an absolute conclusion on anything. And the absolute is not possible because there is always the possibility of more information, because there's always the possibility that you're not aware of everything. Because we are not omniscient, we have to leave that room and be intellectually honest. That's the whole point, is maintaining intellectual honesty. And what Colorado Biker said about winning a friggin' Nobel Prize, the whole point of it comes down to people can believe what they want to believe. They absolutely can. But people need to recognize the breaks in their epistemology and how those breaks affect their lives and the lives of the people around them. Because, like we said before, breaks in epistemology lead to irrational beliefs. Irrational beliefs lead to irrational behavior. Irrational behaviors affect the people that believe in them and the people around them. That is a major problem on this planet today, is people's irrational beliefs influencing their irrational behavior or driving their irrational behaviors to justify those beliefs, and then the negative effects it has, the societal divides it creates between everybody. Yes, you can believe in a God. That is your right to do so. Yes, you can worship that God, and that can be your religion. That is your right to do so. Do you have the right to go out and try to influence legislation that everybody has to live under that because you think it's true? Absolutely 100% not, because you cannot demonstrate it to be true. Okay? And given the entailments of it, it's quite possible that it's false. Or actually, given the logical entailments of it, we can demonstrate it to be false, especially if it violates the laws of reality, or the very nature of the being violates the laws of reality. We don't need to presuppose anything about this. We don't need to look into metaphysics or anything when we can empirically demonstrate these things. And the logical entailments of the entity disprove it from being a causal factor in anything. So when it comes down to it, people can hold these things, but it's important to recognize them and be critical. And critically analyze what the things that you believe in. Examine your epistemology. Do you hold the same epistemology for gravity that you do for God? Do you hold the same epistemology for light, okay, for photons, that you do for God, or for cell theory, or for germ theory of disease, or whatever that you hold for God? Do you hold the same epistemologies? Because you can use the same methodology to come to conclusions regarding both. And the whole point is novel testable predictions. That's the important point of theories. There is no God theory. It's at best a hypothesis, and that's only if it has no attributes that defeat it. If you just say the deistic thing, that's a hypothesis, but it doesn't get us anywhere. It doesn't explain anything. It makes no predictions about reality. It provides no mechanistic explanation for any cause that we see, or any effect that we see, or anything we interpret as cause and effect. So therefore, it has no validity other than personal incredulity or physiological or psychological utility. Sorry, I ranted there for a second.
What the f*** was that noise?
Did you see it? Right after Chris is startled by a loud noise, a pale translucent figure seems to actually pass into his body, and he spins around as he feels something that gives him chills.
That was loud. What the hell?
You look at the grain, you look at the light. I think that was staged.
What was that?
Almost immediately, another figure appears in a doorframe on the left and seems to be watching Chris. And things just get worse. Chris is suddenly struck with extreme nausea. Given how bad the pixelation is on that, given how the quality of the video, I'm starting to believe that there's more than two people there. That there's at least 3, maybe 4. So, and I'm thinking that the light thing was either double exposure or it was set up. So, yeah, it's an IRK camera. It could be a burst of cold or warm air. This all kinds of stuff. So, and TH Tony says, certainly staged. Absolutely. Oh, thank you, Blue. I appreciate that. Sometimes I kind of rant a little bit because it's really, really important to me, and it's important that people begin to do this. That, yes, people can believe what they want to believe, but we have to be able to examine what we believe and why we believe it, how we come to those beliefs. Epistemology, everyone holds an epistemology, and everybody has epistemological standards for everything. The point is, your epistemological standard should be the same for everything. And it should be precise. It should be complex. It should be deep. It should eliminate confirmation bias. It should take as many things as possible into account. It should literally go towards theories. But it doesn't, unfortunately, for a lot of people. Because a lot of people are scared, a lot of people are angry, and a lot of people are unable to psychologically reconcile the things that happen in this world and the views that they have of themselves.
They view themselves as a certain type of person. They view the world as either being inherently unfair or there's no justice or whatever, when in actuality these things are our responsibility, not the responsibility of anybody else. I can understand completely how someone can appeal to something external to them to ensure that everything's going to work out in the end, because that's what people want to hear. Everything's going to be okay. Okay? Well, it's going to be okay if we as a community make it okay. No one else is coming to save us. At most, an alien species will show up one day and will obliterate us, or we'll be long extinct before then. But it doesn't matter. We're going to save ourselves. No one is coming to save us. And all of this is our responsibility. Our actions and our inactions. The weight of that responsibility is very, very heavy. That is a massive weight. And people run to church or to something to alleviate them of that weight. It almost happened to me. It almost drove me screaming back to church. We recognize. I was learning to recognize, the effects that I have on the world around me, the effects my inactions have on the world around me, and to be a part of the community, a part of the world, and not just treat this life as a doormat or a waiting room to the next big thing. There is too many beautiful things, too many wonderful experiences, too many people to meet, too much stuff to learn, too much mystery to solve in this world alone to just ignore it all for something that we can't demonstrate is even there. That's just very, very sad. Nope, wasn't me. Said, hey, good to see you. Nope. J.H. Oster, good to see you as well. Said, jail for president. I'm an atheist, so they'd never elect me, but I appreciate your vote of confidence. Nope, wasn't me. Says, what do you think happens when we die? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That you literally return to the state before you were born. So for 4.2 billion years, you didn't exist. And you have no memory of that. You didn't exist until the cells came together to make you, and then your brain, kind of like, if you want to, for lack of a better term, came online. If your brain began to self-actualize, and then you have about 80 years here, then you die, your cells stop producing energy, the energy that's the electrical firing, or the energy that's in your body is dissipated into the surrounding, basically the atmosphere or whatever, and then the cellular composition that you are breaks down, decays, falls apart, everything feeds upon it, and then those basic elements that you're broken down into go back into the system and feed everything else around you so that the cycle can begin again. But once you die, you are dead. The best way that I can describe this is, PhD Tony Bros says, humans are in some senses machines. Chemical effects, air quality, emotional state and physical environments, infrasonics, electromagnetic fields, all influence our perception and interpretation. Absolutely. So from a scientific standpoint, the best way I can describe this is this. I once had major surgery, and I went under. Okay, I was put under for major surgery on my neck, and when I was under for 4 hours, and then I woke up in the recovery room. To my brain, when I went under, there is no sensation of the passage of time. There was nothing. It literally went, the scope of my experience was, I was awake, and then I was waking up in the recovery room. There was no sensation of falling asleep. There was no sensation of passage of time while being asleep. There was nothing. My literal memory goes from I was awake to I'm suddenly waking up. It was very, very disorienting because that's the anesthesia. But I know that I was out for 4 hours. I know there were witnesses. There were the doctors that operated on me. There was my wife at the time who was waiting for me in the waiting room. So, yeah, that period of time where I did not exist, where it's literally where I existed, I was physically there, but where this up here did not exist because this was turned off, where it literally went whoop to there, that is literally as close to equating to what I think being dead is like. You're simply not aware of it. It's non-existence. Now, I know that there are some things that we still don't really fully understand about anesthesia, but that's just it. And it's not even, in fact, it's just like sleeping every night. I wouldn't even say it's that. It's literally non-existence. You have no recollection of it. There's nothing there to recollect because you were gone. So there was no sensation. My body wasn't taking in any stimulation. There was no activity there to a certain degree other than autonomic stuff that keeps me alive. But as far as cognizance, that's it. It's gone. So it was literally, I'm awake, then I'm waking up all of a sudden. And I have no sensation of falling asleep and no sensation of time passing. So literally, there was nothing. 4 hours vanished for me. And I was there, because people can attest I was there, but that's it. So that's as close as I can think that I could attribute to what death is like. Nothingness. That's it. So make use of the time that you have. Gather ye rosebuds while ye may. Let me see here. Sorry about that. God, I keep this rant time. Comas are tricky, Joe. This is true. Because comas aren't like being put under strong anesthesia. It's two different things. It's just like a coma is not like sleeping, just like anesthesia is not like sleeping. So comas are different. Anesthesia is different. And just regular REM cycles are different. So different cognitive states. You turn into a gelatinous pile of decomposing ape meat, pretty much. Raven says, do me a favor and change the subject. Talking about death is causing anxiety issues flare. Understood, Raven. I get you.
Yeah, and unfortunately, kind of, he pukes. I muted the audio and blurred the video because it's a little gross. But I wanted to leave the scene in because something happens to Chris right at this moment that is truly bizarre.
Well, look at where you are. Look at what you're breathing in. And we have no idea what he's drank or what he has eaten before this. Or if he even gagged himself. So that's hard to say because that's never shown on camera. So given that there's this wide angle, it's possible that that footage is there, but they don't show it. So there's a number of ways to make oneself throw up. But there's also, look at where he's at. That's a very gross place he is. And given what I know about like hantavirus and other crap, and like tetanus and shit, I would not be wondering. That's why urban exploration has no appeal to me, because it's really, really dangerous. Because construction, you have no idea what the state of things are. And just because something looks solid doesn't necessarily mean that it is. Tetanus is a very real thing. Obviously, snakes, wild animals, spiders, black widows, and not to mention the shit that you're breathing in, mesothelioma. That place could be full of asbestos. Hantavirus, which is transmissible by rats or by mice dropping. So you wouldn't catch me in there without some sort of breathing apparatus. And Commander Darklight brings it up. He could have been freaking himself out so much that adrenaline made him throw up. Absolutely. It is absolutely. So you don't know what you're breathing like, exactly like asbestos. That's why you don't catch me going in anywhere like, I would not go anywhere like this without a rebreather on. Bat droppings. Oh, and rabies rabies is prevalent. Bats are natural bat colonies or natural reservoir for rabies virus. Yeah, there's no way. No way.
Leave Chris's body as he vomits violently. Now, viewers of Chris's YouTube channel believe that he had an encounter with a demonic presence and that something sinister actually entered and left his body. But what do you think? You can watch this entire exploration and many more adventures in creepy abandoned places over on Chris's YouTube channel, Urbex Hill.
Yeah.
The Doppelganger.
Ooh.
Giovanni Lima was living a quiet life with his girlfriend Laura in Sao Paulo, Brazil. But lately he says their lives have been turned upside down by some truly terrifying events. One night, the couple falls asleep on the couch in the living room when Giovanni is woken up by a very disturbing sound.
Ooh, excellent point there, Colorado Biker. Carbon dioxide gas, methane, ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, carbon monoxide, all kinds of stuff. Old abandoned places like that are extraordinarily dangerous. You don't go in there without a buddy. You don't go in there with proper safety equipment. You don't just walk in there in your street clothes and start filming everything. Because if you go into a particular area and you don't know what the substructure is, you step in the wrong place, you could find yourself in a sub-basement and no way to get out. Because you could be really injured and no one can hear you. So, yeah, urban exploration is so incredibly dangerous. Not to mention, it's trespassing, and oftentimes it's breaking the law. So...
Que porra é essa, mano?
Vem cá.
Que porra é essa?
Giovanni's girlfriend Laura is asleep on the couch right next to him, but chillingly he hears what sounds like her voice coming from somewhere down the hall.
Vem cá.
Porra é essa?
In another video, Giovanni says that he began to feel very ill shortly after this incident and was forced to go to the hospital. As he's filming his chilling story, something happens that he simply can't explain.
Muita gente estava pedindo explicações, então eu vim aqui trazer explicações agora. Eu gravei aquele vídeo ontem, de madrugada, quando eu estava dormindo com minha namorada na sala da casa dela inteiro. Eu comecei a passar mal, inexplicavelmente, no meio do rolê. No meio do dia eu comecei a passar mal, tive que ir pro hospital. Então eu também fiquei ausente por causa disso. E agora eu tô fazendo aqui a resposta do que aconteceu realmente ali naquele lugar. E...
WD-40. WD-40 would solve all these problems. Zombie Jerry says, can you come fake this video with me? Very true. Oh, there he goes. The rescue got... Oh, excellent. 1800. Very nice. Oh, and I'm so glad that I wonder if AZ Jeep Girl is still in the house, if she's still here. Because I wanted to tell her I ran into the same situation, a very similar situation with a puppy that I adopted a long, long time ago. He was a little pit bull mix that I named Cagney because he was a tough little bastard. But I was doing community service work at the SPCA, and like towards the end of the time that I was supposed to be doing the work, a box of puppies came in. It was 7 puppies, and they were all pit bull mixes. And it was a couple of days after that they came in. I saw one. I just fell in love with him. It was like, I have to adopt him. He had these beautiful abalone eyes. And so I took him home and I adopted this little guy and he became my dog. But a couple days later, he came down with parvo. And the entire litter had parvo. And fortunately, he survived. He was a little after the fact, but he made it through. And he became one of the coolest dogs ever. He had some neurological problems because of the parvo, I'm pretty sure. But otherwise, he had a good a pretty decent healthy life. He was happy. You know, he's a good dog. But I've been through that experience. Parvo sucks. And I really hope pulling for it because that's a tough one to overcome. But if they do, you know, that's pretty hardcore for a dog. So, creepy door, which could be somebody else. I need a WD-40 to that door. That's what he's saying. That's what he's thinking. What's up? What's up, ghost?
E a porta do meu quarto acabou de abrir. Não faz sentido, não faz...
Giovanni's bedroom door opens by itself, but when he peeks...
Oh, wait, does it? Because we didn't see it opening. We didn't see that. And it opened from it opened and swings inside, so the person who opened it could have been inside. Or they obviously could have just, you know, opened up and then foot slid, so they shuffled their feet so they didn't, the sound of them was stepping, or weared thick socks, and then just gone somewhere else in the house. So, come on, guys. Really? A door opened.
There's no one there.
But he never says he's alone in the house.
Later, Giovanni is home alone when things take an even more terrifying turn.
Hey, Sumi, good to see you.
Again, a female
Really?
voice can be heard calling out to Giovanni, even though he's completely alone in the house. He suddenly hears loud footsteps charging toward him, and he just makes a run for it. Giovanni has no idea why and how these
I didn't hear footsteps charging towards him. I heard him running. So
creepy events are happening. Some of his concerned viewers believe that he might be dealing with a skinwalker or a doppelganger pretending to be his girlfriend. So now, 3 months go by and Giovanni is happy to report that nothing paranormal has happened since his last video. And it seems like he just jinxed it all. Because soon after, he and his girlfriend wake up in the middle of the night to strange sounds just outside their bedroom door.
Tá acontecendo de novo. Você ouviu? Ih, caralho.
Whatever is haunting the couple is back, and it seems angry. So what do you think is going on here? Let me know
fake,
down in
staged.
the comments.
Because someone banged on a door. It's the burglar stealing his Xbox. It's his neighbor fucking with him. Good points, good points.
Ghosts of Carmel, Maine.
Ooh.
Kent Burris from the YouTube channel Ghosts of Carmel, Maine might seem very familiar, as I've featured updates on his continuing story many times on Nuke's Top 5. Kent has spent 5 years of his life documenting the disturbing paranormal activity he experiences day and night in his home in Carmel, Maine. Lately, Kent has captured even more terrifying paranormal encounters.
That's a very good point, Adam. So he reminded people about what happened, then it happened again. Very good point.
One day, Kent is home alone and working in his office when he hears voices and bangs coming from somewhere inside his house. He quickly grabs his phone and hits record.
You making noise? You making noise upstairs? Jesus!
Cut to another early morning. Kent has fallen asleep for the night with his TV on, but at around 5 a.m. some strange sounds wake him up. He quickly turns on a light, and when he looks up, he sees something at the foot of his bed that chills him to his core. He immediately grabs his phone and hits record.
Really? Okay. Hang on a sec.
A dark shadow figure can be seen.
Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Just 1 second. Oh, EVP? That was not an EVP. That was a bang.
Jesus!
Nice of Ghost to never break any valuable stuff. Very good point, Adam. PG Tony's laughing. It's like, hang on a sec.
Cut to another
Just
early
a
morning. Kent has fallen asleep for the night with his TV on, but at around 5 a.m. some strange sounds wake him up. He quickly turns on a light, and when he looks up, he sees something at the foot of his bed that chills him to his core.
Okay, so keep an eye on this thing. Keep an eye on this thing.
He immediately grabs his phone and hits record.
Okay, really, like, okay, keep in mind, keep an eye on this thing and watch it, how it reacts to the light. Oh, that's funny. That's very funny.
Bed that chills him to his core. He immediately grabs his phone and hits record.
Okay, so that's supposedly a shadow figure. And very humanoid looking shadow figure. but it doesn't move in any human ways. It's literally just there. So, Rosa has this hilarious bad editing. It's the tablecloth trick. Yes. Oh, yes. Laura Rader says, Poltergeist taught us that spirits jump through TV static all the time. Very good point. He said, that's his shadow. Small cardboard cutout out of stick. Yeah. So this is obviously something that is deliberately creating a shadow. And it's because if you watch the edges of it, you can see it relax. You can see it move as the light source moves, which means that the object is stationary and the light is moving around it. So, because it adjusts just a little bit. And I'm assuming the light was probably from his phone, but, or maybe there may be something back behind him or whatever. So his key light may be doing this. But this is obviously created. And then, of course, it disappears. Right. So let's look at it from this perspective. So Steve6464 says, this is why having the narration on can be complicated. So let's take a look at it like this. Let's back it up a little bit and just reduce the volume, so that we're not anchored to anything.
Cut to another early morning. Kent has fallen asleep for the night with his TV on, but at around 5 a.m. some strange sounds wake him up. He quickly turns on a light, and when he looks up, he sees something at the foot of his bed that chills him to his core.
Dropping the volume. See? When you take away the sound, it changes because it forces you to it forces your brain to look at the image itself. You could see where it was wobbling down, where the thing was stationary, where his hand was holding it. So yeah, holding a cardboard cutout in front of the lamp.
A dark shadow figure can be seen standing at the end of the bed.
See that adjustment?
Slightly moving or perhaps even vibrating before it just disappears into thin air. So what do you think is going on in Kent's home?
Absolutely faked.
You can watch many more Paranormal.
As a matter of fact, let's back this up real quick.
The Night Flyer.
Night Flyer is a Stephen King short story.
Many more paranormal moments.
I swear, you can kind of catch it hitting the edge of the little closet, the armoire.
A dark shadow figure can be seen standing at the end of the bed, slightly moving or perhaps even vibrating before it just disappears into thin air. So what do you think is going on
here
in Kent's home?
This is all set up. This is definitely 100% staged.
Over on Kent's YouTube channel, Ghosts of Carmel, Maine.
Because it leaves an advantages by the light source. So yeah.
The Night Flyer. This next video was sent in to me by Nuke's Top 5 viewer Mark from Greenland. So one evening Mark is out in the snow with his daughter walking the family dog. But Mark's daughter spots something truly bizarre up on the hill.
Please be a Bigfoot. Please be a Bigfoot. And go chase after it. It's so dark. Okay, if there's something there, why doesn't the dog see it?
A strange dark figure can be seen floating in the sky between apartment buildings. Mark misses it and just doesn't understand what his daughter is pointing at. He only realizes what she saw when he reviews his footage back at home. Now, Mark believes they might have captured a supernatural being known as a Kivitok, an aggressive supernatural entity from Greenland folklore. Anyway, what do you think this could be?
So I know we have some people probably in the live chat who are from that area.
Let me know.
This is interesting because it does seem to be casting a shadow on the opposing building. Mannequin on a zip line, entirely possible. I will admit this one is actually
is pointing at.
This is pretty because it's so far away.
When he reviews his footage.
But see, if you notice, it looks like there's a shadow on the opposing building.
Now, Mark believes they might have captured a supernatural being.
So, but it's weird because also the light doesn't seem to work. Cut out on a wire? Shadow puppet? Possible. Stinkfoot. Zombie Jerry, good to see you. It's Batman on a zip line.
Known as a Kivitog, an aggressive supernatural entity from Greenland folklore. Anyway, what do you think this could be? Let me know down in the comments. Hidden in the dark. For the last 3 months, popular YouTube ghost hunter Franco TV has been on an extensive trip through several countries to explore the most haunted and downright dangerous locations in South America. Now, not too long ago, I featured Frank's terrifying exploration of the Presbítero Maestro Cemetery in Lima, Peru, where he captured some shocking moments that are still unexplained to this day. After many requests from his viewers, Frank decides to go back to the cemetery in hopes of capturing even more paranormal activity. As he's making his way through the giant cemetery, he begins to hear odd sounds coming.
So that to me looked like overlay. That they reused the tape, possibly. It also could have been cobwebs or something on the altar.
Cemetery in Lima, Peru, where he captured some shocking moments that are still unexplained to this day. After many requests from his viewers, Frank decides to go back to the...
Does that look like an arm to anybody else? Like somebody put their arm through and it's... that it's literally like it was an arm and then it goes down. Like somebody stuck their arm through it and put it, or was on the other side of it and put it up and then brought it back down. All of 3 months later.
Cemetery in hopes of capturing even more paranormal activity.
Yeah, that was somebody's arm. This is overlay. This is double exposure. So they may have filmed the same thing or reusing the tape. So this actually could be set up. So an arm reaching out. So like the other clip he showed of the scimitar was a mannequin with. It's been debunked. The other clip he showed of the scimitar was a mannequin with trash bags. Oh, intriguing.
As he's making his way through the giant cemetery, he begins to hear odd sounds coming from somewhere nearby.
Okay. Hear it. You heard that? Right over there.
Well, to go towards it, man. Run at it. Go after it.
Someone's whistling. Yeah, that. I'm out.
Now,
why?
Frank is a little spooked by the strange...
It could have been the paranormal. You could have been right there.
Sounds, but what he doesn't seem to notice is that someone or something seems to be lurking just behind the tombstones.
Oh, there's someone else in the cemetery. Cemeteries are public places. Well, technically they're private property, but they're open to the public until closing time. So there's someone else there, or it's somebody that you know and you're setting this up. One of the two. A person in a cemetery.
He shrugs off the sounds and continues to explore, making his way...
Zombie Jerry says, damn it, JL, I'm going to have to do First Amendment audits now. Colorado Biker says, get it? That's your solution, Ray? Really? Get it? Get her. That was your solution. Get her. Get her.
Through the giant graveyard. That's when he captures something downright creepy.
I'm going to start heading towards that area.
Rose Maswood says, maybe it's chilly. I can see the ghost coming up. We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
People end their lives. I don't want to look at this place.
Well, it's really out of focus, so...
the hell is that?
Very dark.
Hold on. I saw something small there.
When brightened and enhanced, a pale face can be seen looking out from inside one of the crypts. Frank spots the peeking face and quickly hurries over to look inside the crypt. But there's no one there.
No one that we see.
The cemetery is dark.
And I found it very interesting that he only really shot one side of the inside. So I'm thinking that this is set up, because we didn't get a full exploration of the entire place. So...
and it's hard to see, so Frank believes that he might have just captured a reflection from something inside the crypt.
It could have been that as
He
well.
again shrugs off the bizarre event.
Call it
as
Rebecca.
something
It's
that can just
Chupacabra.
be explained. But what happens next is absolutely horrifying.
Ooh, horrifying.
That's the front door there. That is creepy. That's the basement area. Right in there. Oh. Is there another gunshot over there?
Did you see it? Now let's watch that again, but this time I'll brighten up and enhance the footage.
That is creepy. That's the basement area. Right in there.
Something can be seen standing right at the bottom of the crypt stairs. But when Frank shines his flashlight, it just seems to disappear.
Yeah.
Could this ominous figure belong to the person buried inside the crypt? You decide.
This could have been footage of himself. That looked like footage of somebody looking inside.
Presbytero Maestro Cemetery over on the YouTube channel Franco TV.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that these are
watching. You're probably
so that looks like a lot of individuals were having their stuff put out there. So yeah, I'm thinking that was probably set up. Looks like it was previous footage and then it was overlaid. So what are you gonna do? But I'm pretty sure that was staged or completely and totally staged, because also the switch to night vision or to the infrared to the night vision look can definitely be an editing cover. Could be a cut cover. All right, so if you give me just 1 second, I actually have to run to the restroom real quick. I'm gonna play the intermission, and then we'll be right back to kind of like close it out. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back. No, not having an out-of-body experience right now. I just had to run to the restroom. I've been holding it for a second, so. All right. So, that was some spooky stuff. I want to double check. No membership. Okay, good. Make sure, because StreamYard doesn't show me the membership chats. So I want to make sure I didn't miss any of those. All right. Sylvester said, see you later, Elizabeth Sylvester. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Facty, did you? Yes, I washed my hands. All right. We'll go ahead and minimize that. Okay, but it was quick. Colorado said y'all missed the pun. Yes, I am having an out-of-body experience. Yes, I was having an out-of-body experience. Take it easy, Aaron. Go back to have fun with the movies tonight. Good night, Sherry Hunter. Good to see you. Thanks so much for popping by. Yep, I had to run into. I don't know if that's a Riley, because the whiteout from the night vision turning on was used to hide the cut. Good point, Aaron Reese. Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. 99.9% could have been debunked by James Randi. Absolutely. So, Angel Rivera. Yep, it's been a long day. Says I'm off to bed as well. Thank you so much, Angel Rivera. Appreciate you hanging out. And Peter says it was a bunch of frauds. It absolutely was. So, when it comes down to it, I think that we did a good solid debunk of these and explain how they can be redone and how we know them to be redone because we've seen them before a dozen times. We've seen them recreated by other creators. So, trickery like that, absolutely, James Wolf. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate that. And happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you. We got a couple hours left in the spooky night. So, appreciate everybody hanging out. So, this was really, really fun. Just check this out. Nice little creepy stream to give you a little bit of an update. So, for those who were not here at the very beginning, I am currently I'm still in 9th place. So, I see that the positions really haven't changed a bit, but I am expecting there to be a bit more jockeying for position since there's going to be one more day of 2x voting. So if I share the screen over, you can see that, yes, I am... Actually, go to the dashboard. You can see that I am currently in 9th. And unfortunately, it may not be possible unless something really amazing happens, but, you never know. But, we shall see. But, thank you, Maya Atkinson. Good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. I usually see you over at Jefferson Spatchcock stream. I hope he's doing okay, because we haven't seen or we haven't heard anything from him in a while. I hope he's doing all right. So, but yeah, that's where I'm currently at, and I want to thank everybody for helping me to get to this point, because I am currently in the semifinals. A lot of talented people here that did a lot of fantastic work, have really, really big followings, and they, any one of them would deserve it, especially Dustin. I'm kind of hoping of this entire group, I'm kind of hoping Dustin does make it. I'm hoping somebody doesn't just out-donate him and his following. So hopefully Dustin will get it because he's a good dude. He's a really, really talented guy. He's an Army vet. He's a paramedic. Has his own band. He's the internet's goth daddy. He's a huge TikTok following. A lot of work has gone into that brand of his, and I hope it pays off. I really does. I hope it pays off for him. So, I'm honored to be in such a group of esteemed horror fanatics. So, and thank you to everybody who helped me get there. A big thank you to PH Tony who snuck me into the semifinals. I really, really appreciate that. It got me a consolation prize that they're sending to me. I have no idea what it is, but they're shipping it to me. And of course, hey, Demon Orb, good to see you. It was an excellent run. Now, you never know, because like I said, there's 2 hours and there's 2 days, 23 hours and 50 minutes left. You never know what could happen there. Some benefactor could jump in and bam, I could find myself up there again with a shot. I have no idea. But I don't know anybody personally like that, so I don't know. Unless somebody's surprised who's following and deems me worthy, someone with the liquid capital to do that, then I'm eternally grateful. But and I'll definitely cast them in my next movie. But yeah, this was pretty awesome. Unfortunately, if I don't make it through, if I don't make it to the finals, then I won't be getting an Irish Demon tattoo, which is kind of a shame because the design is really cool looking. I think it would make a cool tattoo. But yeah, this is where it ends. Then the journey was amazing, and we raised a lot for an amazing cause, for the B Plus Foundation, which is a fantastic organization. The Andrew McDonough Foundation, they do great work. So I'm glad we were able to be a part of that. That's really, really awesome. Yeah, had a good run. Yeah, the run isn't over yet, so I'm not willing to be like, I give up. But Russell Coker says, I just voted for you. Are you in first yet? Unfortunately, Russell, I am not. I am hovering in ninth. Because and Russell was actually in the quarterfinals with me. And Russell, I believe, came in third on the next one next to the girl Yolanda. But Russell, good to see you. Thanks so much for popping over. Unfortunately, yeah, I'm hovering in ninth. The competition here is fierce. Seriously, Dustin Gannon, Lauren Robbins, Christopher, Tama, Rebecca, all of them really, really strong competitors. And so, yeah, so really, really strong individuals with big social media followings that just dwarf mine. So I just haven't been around long enough, I think is what it is. I haven't been on TikTok for, 7 years. I haven't been producing YouTube content for almost a decade. So, but yeah. Oh, yes, I fucking can. So, but yeah, but it was an excellent run. Like I said, you never know what's going to happen. Something crazy could go down, and all of a sudden I could find myself up there, but unlikely. But you never know. Fingers crossed. One can always hope. So, but that's why you really haven't seen me just like pushing it all over the place, because you haven't really seen me pushing it out there as much, just because I don't want people to feel the push to donate when the chances are I'm not going to get in first. So, if people want to donate, it's because I have a good shot at winning. Without such shot at winning, I don't want people to feel like it's like, oh, he's pushing us to do this, but he's probably not going to win. Yeah, then I don't want to do that. So, but you never know. Rebo Sandman's right. Cinderella story. You never know. You never know. Oh, thank you very much, Adam. I appreciate that. All right, so that was the update on Face of Horror, and of course, that's up on November 3rd is when they do the final selection. I have stay away from TikTok, make more YouTube content. You're the goddamn horror godfather of my eyes. Thank you so much, Zombie Jerry. I appreciate that. I really, really do. I mean, how many of those people could say they have a life-size Jason in their room like that? How many can say that? I don't think any of them. I think I'm the only one. So, but yeah, all the more reason for me to win. I appreciate that very, very much. So we did some debunks on some creepy vids from Nuke. Thanks to Nuke for putting that out so we have a chance to take a look at it. Got your Face of Horror update. I've got new content coming out on Bridge the Divide, and of course, Week in Horror every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Time over at youtube.com/weekinhorror. You can pop over and check that out. So I really hope you do, and look forward to putting out more stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to do a live stream on the 3rd for the rollover. If I'm close, then maybe. But if I'm sitting there, if I drop further, if I'm like in 10th or 11th, I don't see the point of doing a live stream and wasting everybody's time just to watch me lose. But I'll definitely do like a community update. But if all of a sudden if someone sweeps in with just like, ha-ha, and now you're in like second again, I'm definitely going live to see the either the win or the loss. So, but yeah, this has been an absolute blast. It's been a fantastic journey. It's been great taking a look at this kind of like little temporary thing going on, kind of a reprieve from the Chili DeCastro nonsense. But it was fun, so we're definitely going to do it again. So look for fresh content coming up, Bridge the Divide. Look for Week in Horror every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central. And then, of course, as always, be safe, be excellent to each other. I'll see you in the next one, and for the next couple of hours, have a safe Halloween.